Boy, they had some nice weather there earlier today, didn't they? Sunshine. It was a little bit cool in the 30s today. And, otherwise the wind was nice and light, so hopefully you have been enjoying an equally nice Thanksgiving as well. I'm meteorologist Steve Glazier. Let's take it coast to coast here, talk about our top weather stories, and then we'll check in with meteorologist Matt Monroe here. Interesting story in just a few minutes. We're talking about some wet weather here in the Pacific Northwest. River levels running a little bit high. The good thing is a lot of the rain already fallen through tonight. We could pick up another half inch to inch in some of the mountainous terrain, and any snowfall, well, we're looking all the way through tomorrow and into tomorrow night. Looks to be highest in the parts of the northern Cascades, also parts of the Tetons. So that's something to watch where the precipitation is going to fall over the next 12 to 24 hours. Very windy out west, so that's where a lot of the activity is, especially across the Pacific Northwest and into parts of the high plains. For tomorrow, temperatures are going to be 67 Denver and San Fran, 53 Bismarck, 52 in Seattle. Across the Southwest, record heat potentially near 80 for LA and into Las Vegas. Briefly here across Florida, it's been very wet, and we'll likely still see some on and off rain through tomorrow night before on Saturday this does start to clear up, and we'll start to talk about some drier weather that does start to come in, but we still could pick up another 1 to 3 inches of rainfall. It's looking heaviest in parts of northern Florida, maybe into the coastal Georgia and South Carolina area. Road conditions right now wet here across parts of the southeast, northwest. A lot of the country is thankfully pretty quiet. Your Black Friday forecast, warm and dry for most of us across the central western part of the U.S. A little bit cool to the east, but not bad. Some rain showers upper Midwest, Florida, and into parts of the Northwest for tomorrow for shopping purposes, if you will. Sunday travel, if you will. It's going to be breezy, maybe some lake effect snow showers across the Great Lakes and across the upper Midwest, a little bit of quick shot of snow, and then some heavier precip across the Pacific Northwest with that next system. Still, a lot of the country is pretty quiet. Quiet, the weather story here, but around the globe it has been far busier. Our meteorologist Matt Monroe takes a look.
The skies around the world have been anything but quiet this Thanksgiving week. The video coming in our Weather Nation studio was some we just had to share. We begin about 250 miles off the coast of Auckland, New Zealand, where a Norwegian sailor was in trouble in rough seas. The sailor was rescued by a commercial fishing vessel in 12-foot swells. He called for help after the boat's sails and rigging suffered damage in 30-mile-an-hour winds. Now to Indonesia, where citizens and tourists have been warned they may have to evacuate Bali after a volcanic eruption. Mount Agung spewed black smoke and ash 2,300 feet above its summit. Tremors followed, along with falling ash, gravel, and sand. And there are concerns bigger eruptions could soon follow. The 10,000-foot volcano last erupted in 1963, killing more than 1,000 people and leveling several villages. People in Japan saw something literally out of this world Tuesday night. A fireball lit up the sky over the main island of Honshu. A car camera on the Tateyama Expressway just east of Tokyo captured the amazing footage of the meteor. And more celestial wonders were on full display in Tasmania. A thick blanket of stars covered the sky as the northern lights danced along the horizon. And if you look closely, you'll also notice a few shooting stars. Make a wish. Unfortunately, the news coming out of Ireland is not so good. Up to 1,000 people have been affected by heavy floods after 3 rivers burst their banks due to heavy rain. More than 100 homes have significant damage, and hundreds are now staying in hotels. Locals say it's the worst flooding they've ever seen. About 2 inches of rain fell in 2 hours over mountainous terrain, causing flash flooding, leaving some roads impassable. And finally, on Saturday, November 18th, Barrow, Alaska saw their last sunset of the year. Residents won't see the sun again until January 22nd. But what they did see on Tuesday was a blizzard. Snow came down almost sideways and strong winds, with temperatures in the teens and a sub-zero wind chill. Stay warm, Barrow. Summer is still 7 months away. For Weather Nation, I'm meteorologist Matt Monroe.
certainly had some record high temperatures on Wednesday across the Four Corners. Prescott, Arizona, 76 degrees, breaking the old record of 73 set back in 1995. And then record highs on Wednesday in beautiful Salt Lake City, 68. Topping the old record of 66 set back in 1926. And boy, numerous records in Utah fell on Wednesday. Look at this. Provo, 66, broke the old record just by a smidge, 65 degrees. Welcome back here to Weather Nation. Meteorologist Matt Monroe. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you're having a terrific day. I'm up now with, of course, your Four Corners Regional. And across the Four Corners, we've seen some phenomenal sunsets. This was yesterday evening in Elizabeth, Colorado. Look at the colors there. Pretty amazing. Here's another one also Wednesday evening from Littleton, Colorado, suburb of Denver, and then the Great Salt Lake. Look at those colors reflecting off the waters of the lake. Absolutely amazing. Here's another one also from Salt Lake City, Utah. That was again on Wednesday. Okay, and this was sunrise over Salt Lake City today. Early on this morning, they had a gorgeous Thanksgiving, a few high-level clouds, and then this is sunset today in Boulder, right here along the Flatiron Range. Absolutely gorgeous. Snow-capped mountains in the distance, and Denver, Colorado, the last flickering light here of Thanksgiving Thursday. Looking good in Denver today and feeling good too with temperatures right near 70. Denver, here's your extended forecast as far as the temperatures. Average high 49 degrees. Boy, today incredibly warm, and we'll keep the warmth for Black Friday. So it's a great shopping day tomorrow. Upper 60s, some lower 60s on Saturday, and then right back into the 70s out on Sunday to wrap up the holiday weekend. Pleasant on Monday, 69. Then another front tracks on through Tuesday, bringing some clouds, maybe a couple of snowflakes in the higher elevations. 48, 52 out on Wednesday. Albuquerque, New Mexico, a great day again today. Average high 53. Look at tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. A lot of sun with high temperatures about 20 degrees above average. Then the same front that's tracking through Denver on Tuesday, well, it comes through Albuquerque. That drops the temperatures back into the upper 50s. And then Phoenix usually run about 72. Look at this, upper 80s Friday, Saturday, Sunday, middle 80s on Monday, and then very close to average, at least back in the upper 70s by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. It has been pretty dry across the Four Corners. No precip to report in any of the rain gauges, and we're looking for water vapor over the last number of hours. There's a little mid to high level moisture, but so far nothing's reaching the ground. Let's see if it's in the forecast here. We'll kick it off tonight, Thanksgiving evening. It's clear, it's dry, couple of clouds across Utah, maybe a snowflake or two in the higher elevations of the Wasatch. Overnight tonight, early tomorrow morning, but no huge deal. Here were today's highs. Look at Denver, 73, Albuquerque to about 70, Phoenix and Tucson back in the upper 80s. Overnight lows tonight, getting down to the mid 40s in Denver and the Springs, mid to upper 30s, Santa Fe, Albuquerque, 43 Las Cruces, Lake Havasu to about 57 in St. George tonight, down to about 42. Now tomorrow morning, first thing, it looks pretty good. Couple of clouds here and there, but we stay dry. There's a little front, so a couple of snowflakes in the mountains, the Rockies there of Colorado, but shouldn't be a huge deal. And then it kind of quiets on down by Friday evening. That front drops off to the south and the east, and high pressure works back in, so no problems through early Saturday morning either. High temperatures on Friday, 67 in Denver, 69 in the Springs, so just a little bit cooler with that front coming through, but not very much cooler. 72 Flagstaff, upper 80s in Phoenix and Tucson, upper 70s Las Cruces, Albuquerque, room temperature just about perfect at 72. Saturday morning's lows, middle 30s in Denver and the Springs, 30 Farmington, middle 30s in Flagstaff. Phoenix, that's cool and comfortable, 58 there. Tucson does about 51, 39 Saturday morning out across Salt Lake City. Forecast for Saturday, it also looks pretty good. There's the high pressure. There's nothing really coming through Saturday morning, so it's clear, it's dry, it's quiet. Now we're in a Saturday afternoon. Again, first half of the weekend is looking really good here from Fort Collins all the way down through Albuquerque. This is Saturday, 6 o'clock in the evening, dry from Salt Lake all the way down through Tucson. Saturday high temperatures, 59 in the Springs, lower 60s in Denver, lower 70s in Flagstaff and Albuquerque, upper 70s down through Las Cruces. We might see a little bit of snow come in over the weekend. That would be the higher elevations of the Rockies, maybe 3 to 6, 1 to 3 east of Salt Lake City in the Wasatch. But again, that's very isolated amounts. Most of the mountains stay dry. Denver, there's your extended forecast. It's looking good all the way through Wednesday of next week. Happy Thanksgiving.
Welcome into our Thanksgiving edition here of Weather Nation and our top stories. Now, meteorologist Steve Glazier. In moments, we're going to bring in meteorologist David Neal to talk about some heavy rain in parts of the country. The good thing is, and knock on wood, a lot of the country is pretty quiet for this holiday. But we're going to be talking about some of the busier spots here, which, as you can tell, across the southeast and across parts of the northwest. And some pictures here coming in from some of the beaches where it has been a little bit on the cloudy side. And we'll do just that. We'll bring in meteorologist David Neal, severe weather experts as well, doing a lot of, you talk about hurricanes and severe storms, but fortunately today, David, just kind of looks like a nuisance rain.
Yeah, I absolutely remember many Thanksgiving days talking about the weather being horrible somewhere into the country and having some major concerns with flight delays and that kind of thing, Steve. And I think we're actually A-okay across most of the country. We do have some rain here and there, but not any severe snow delays or anything like that.
That's some good news. Hopefully, again, and it'll stay that way for the weekend.
You know, you didn't mention my pumpkin-colored shirt that I wore.
Oh.
You were supposed to wear yours. I feel a little foolish.
Let's start this one over. I like your shirt.
Thank you. Let's talk about what's happening on the Viper, and then we'll let Steve talk about all he wants to over the Green Wall. We're looking at what's happening here into the southeast, particularly. At the moment, we've got showers running from just about southern North Carolina all the way down along I-95 as you get into southern Florida. Some of the heavier rainfall at the moment. We've been watching and talking about a low pressure down into the Gulf of Mexico. A couple of days ago, a few of our exclusive models were screaming this would be a deeper low pressure center and cause some really high gradient winds. We do have some higher winds across the northern panhandle of Florida, especially on the eastern side of which, but most of this is just moisture coming northward and moving pretty rapidly off to the north end of these. We'll follow that in the hours to come. Going to be some heavier rainfall into South Florida here over the next couple of hours, coming into Fort Myers, and it'll make its way on the east coast as we go through the rest of this evening as well. Get a little further to the north, a little bit of light snow here and there, but no harm, no foul. Into the Great Lakes, it's pretty excellent weather overall, considering that it is Thanksgiving. And then we have more showers, been very active coming into the Pacific Northwest over the last couple of weeks, and the change has not occurred just yet. It's still pretty wet. And some of that is snow that's falling now into the higher elevations, but just not a whole lot. You got to go above 8,000 feet, Steve, to find any significant snowfall, and that's pretty rare.
It is. I know this time of the year, especially because we have had a lot of the big winter storms already. So this is just speaking to the heat that we're experiencing out west. Let's zoom in here and show you the picture into the southeastern United States, where David was mentioning some of the heavy rain. And while we don't have any kind of tropical low, we're still dealing with tropical moisture that's streaming in from the south and west. So some pockets of heavy rain for our Thanksgiving night that also extend up into coastal South and North Carolina. Well, more or less, these will continue through about midnight. Another batch may start to come in just for dawn tomorrow in the parts of South Florida. So at any given time, again, we can kind of have some of these bursts of rainfall. Another 1 to 3 inches is possible here and there, and an isolated thunderstorm can't be ruled out. So be mindful of a severe storm or two. That's probably all we would have here, but still, we'll monitor it for you closely. Parts of South Florida and just north of I-4. There was a confirmed funnel cloud yesterday just outside of the Fort Myers Cape Coral area. So, and these thunderstorms can occasionally just get a little bit on the stronger side. Well, here's your Friday evening. We're still looking at this front draped across parts of central and southern Florida. It looks like the moisture starts to break apart, move away by Saturday into the weekend. So generally should be some nicer weather moving our way then. But not before another 1 to 3 inches is possible. Localized higher amounts are possible, though most should stay in that range. Temperatures, while we're into the 70s to near 80 ahead of the front, a little bit cooler 40s and 50s. Here's how your Friday stacks up: 81 Miami, 65 Jacksonville, 61 Nashville, and 66 in Dallas. And our biggest temperature changes here because of the cloud cover across parts of the Carolinas. Biggest temperature differences across the northeast, right along the 95 corridor with the latest front to move through. Already starting to rebound temporarily across parts of the Great Lakes, where we're fine for now, but we're expecting more lake effect snow to return, especially by the latter half of this weekend. Temps, well, seasonably cool, expecting some teens and 20s for tonight, and then temperatures will rebound back into the 40s and 50s for our Friday ahead, while we are going to be watching again a few lake effect snow showers Sunday. We're taking you across the west, letting you know when we will get some more snow and when the winds will lighten up.
Weather in Santa Barbara, California on Wednesday was absolutely gorgeous. And today for Thanksgiving, it was pretty much a carbon copy. Boy, the beach, you don't typically think that's the place to be around Thanksgiving, but in Santa Barbara, it was certainly the place to be. And also Wednesday, San Diego, they were building sandcastles right there. Ocean Beach, Southern California looking good, but it was warm. Actually, it was hot. So the beach was a great place to be on Wednesday. San Diego, a record high of 92, broke the old record of 84 degrees, and it was the latest 90-plus day ever recorded. Pretty amazing. Camarillo, California on Wednesday, 99. That was the hottest November temperature on record, and it broke the old record by just 1 degree, 98. Welcome back here to Weather Nation. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm meteorologist Matt Monroe with your California, Nevada forecast. And look at all the other California record high temperatures on Wednesday. Los Angeles, 93. San Diego, 92 degrees. Santa Barbara, 90. Up in Big Bear Lake, 72. That's warm for then. And then also more record temperatures on Wednesday. Today for Thanksgiving wasn't quite as hot, but boy, they were certainly setting records all over the place yesterday and again today. Wednesday, Las Vegas, 80, busted the old record of 77 set back in 1976. Okay, today in San Francisco, this was earlier today, cloud cover coming in with some scattered showers, so it wasn't the most beautiful Thanksgiving across the Bay Area. It was actually gorgeous though in Southern California. Pictures coming in earlier today from Pasadena. Absolutely amazing, but extremely warm. Okay, Los Angeles back to near 90 today. Very, very hot Thanksgiving. Average should be around 68 degrees. Shooting for 84 tomorrow for the big shopping day, 80 on Saturday. Then we start to cool things down a little bit. 76 on Sunday, 73 on Monday, upper 70s close to 80 by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Let's check out the numbers across Sacramento. Average 61 degrees tomorrow, upper 60s, also 67 degrees on Saturday, lower 60s Sunday, then a little cooler by Monday, upper 50s, back in the lower 60s, close to average on Tuesday and also Wednesday. And now we're checking out fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. Average high, usually about 63. We're going to go way above that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Upper 70s, close to 80 for the next few days. Room temperature on Monday, back to the mid-60s, close to average by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So pretty much all the Southwest running at or maybe even well above average for this time of the year. Here's the forecast. We'll kick it off tonight. Little fronts tracking across Northern California, so maybe a few widely scattered showers. Crescent City, Eureka, up through the Redwood Forest, but otherwise, California, Nevada looks pretty dry into about 4 o'clock early tomorrow morning. Here were today's highs. San Francisco, 67. LA topped out at 90. Upper 80s in San Diego. 80 in Vegas. Then a pair of 66s in Ely and Elko, Nevada. And then as far as overnight lows tonight, we're dealing with the upper 50s in San Francisco. 50 Fresno. Do about 64 out across the LA basin. 54 in Vegas. 34 getting chilly in Ely. 40 out across Elko. Forecast for Friday. Let's look at that one. A lot of sunshine here right across California, Nevada. Here's another little front, so by very late in the day on Friday, we might see a few widely scattered clouds from Redding down through Fresno. Otherwise, it's pretty much a dry system. All the rainfall by Saturday morning is staying off the California coastline. Friday highs, upper 60 Sacramento and San Francisco, lower 70s Bakersfield. LA does about 84, 80 in Vegas, and a pair of 61s in Ely and Elko. When you wake up on Saturday, it's again chilly in northeastern Nevada, low to mid 30s there, 53 in Vegas, 52 Bakersfield, middle 50s, so cool but fairly comfortable across San Francisco, and then lower 60s in LA and San Diego. Forecast continues. Now we're into Saturday. Saturday morning looks clear and dry, a lot of sunshine. By Saturday afternoon, the next front spreads a little cloud cover to towns like Redding, maybe a shower out across Eureka, but that's just about going to be it. Saturday highs, mid-60s Eureka, upper 60s San Francisco, 80 Los Angeles, close to that in Las Vegas, and still pretty mild northeastern Nevada, Elko 63, and Ely about 67 degrees. Now, with the fronts getting very close, we're looking at some winds. So strong winds here out across the Sierra Nevada. That would go for the next couple of days, so be on the lookout for that. Los Angeles, average high 68 degrees. We'll stay well above that Friday and Saturday. Some mid-70s on Sunday, lower 70s on Monday, then close to 80 on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Have a very happy and healthy Thanksgiving.
Hey, welcome to the Weather Nation. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Glad you can spend some of it here with us. Portland, Oregon has had kind of a wet Thanksgiving, but some clearing late in the day. And Jackson, Wyoming, where some of the snow totals in the season nearing 100 inches, which is kind of hard to believe. But this system that we're talking about right now, pretty warm and wet for now.
Yeah, it is. It is indeed. Into the Pacific Northwest, we have other areas. Well, first of all, the snow levels have been so high. Most everything has been falling over the past 24 hours. The previous 24 hours has all been rainfall. Now that's going to lower later on tonight, as I understand it. So we'll have to be looking at that. And then, but that's kind of it. As far as the nation, there's been some very heavy rain into Florida today, too.
Pretty quiet otherwise across much of the lower 48. Windy weather, probably one of our top headlines.
Yeah, it is indeed. Let's talk about what's happening, though. We look at basically some of these wind alerts that Steve was talking about. High wind warnings, too, from Great Falls down to Bozeman, Cody, 50, 60 mile per hour winds, some gusting even higher than that, just to the west of Winnemucca, Reno, and north and east of Sacramento. Offshore, plenty of warnings, gale force warnings into these areas just off the coast of Oregon. And as you can see, the water vapor image is showing us there's a dry slot here temporarily, but we're going to end up with some more moisture coming on shore again. And this is a front that will actually make its way all the way through the upper Pacific Northwest during the overnight hours tonight and will lower the snowfall, the snow levels where it ends up. Right now, you have to be at about 72, 300 feet for the snow to begin. Anything below that is all rain. Well, it's going to lower down to about 4,000 feet later on tonight. And so then we'll be talking about some of those key passes across much of Washington State being affected as we go on through time. But it's all been rain. Snoqualmie past 2 1/4. Seattle about a ½ inch, over an inch though, right on the coast. I-5 from Forks down to Astoria or Longview. And as a result, there are flood alerts for these areas. Port Angeles back down to Morton and Tacoma, picking up a flood watch here for the next, during the overnight hours tonight. So the front comes on shore, and while it does so, the colder weather comes in behind the actual frontal boundary, and as a result, that's when we're going to see those snow levels coming down just a bit. Here's your front. Another one as we get into Sunday that'll do the same thing, just reinforcing the already chilly air. Zips on by as we get into late Sunday and Monday and moves onshore again with still a weakness here that provides more showery activity coming into the Pacific Northwest again. So we'll keep an eye on that very wet forecast into the west.
And we're taking a look at the heat. You know, another part of that very high rain snow level is a big ridge of heat that has centered itself across parts of the Southwest. Vegas had a record high yesterday at 80, and parts of California, Anaheim, California yesterday hit 100 degrees. It's one of the latest 100s that we've had across the calendar season here in terms of late in the season in November for the lower 48. So that sinking air really warms as it does reach the lowest elevation. This pattern is going to hold steady right through the weekend, more or less, and it doesn't really break down until about Monday or Tuesday of next week. So that said, the heat really extends from parts of the southwestern United States into the high plains. South Dakota, Nebraska getting into the 70s today, 70 to 75 between Lincoln and Rapid City, establishing new daily high temperature records. And you can see all of that heat again kind of in the orange color is especially noticed across Nevada, California, Arizona, but the yellows indicate unseasonably warm air, which are our temperatures in the 60s, which go pretty much from Texas into parts of the high plains. Pretty much stays there for the day today. And take a look at tomorrow. Well, a little bit of a difference across parts of Montana into Wyoming as the cold front moves through temporarily here across the Pacific Northwest. Still very warm across the south and west United States. And on Saturday and into Sunday, some cooler weather does continue to make its way into parts of the high plains. We're down to 63 in Denver, 52 Billings, 48 Bismarck, but still near 80 in Las Vegas and Los Angeles. So we're going to be watching that very closely. In terms of the rest of today, again, watching the northwest and southeastern United States. Otherwise, it is pretty cool across parts of the New England area into the northeast Great Lakes, and that mild to dry and warm air really across much of the heart of the country. We're going to get into your Black Friday details here in just a moment. You can already see some shoppers. I think a lot of people just out and about after the Thanksgiving Day parade. Now it is time to really kick off the Christmas and holiday season. Your Black Friday forecast right around the corner.
Great sunset coming in from Kimberly, Idaho, taking on Wednesday. Boy, a fiery sunset there. And that was kind of really a good picture for the day because we were setting record high temperatures out across Idaho. Look at these. Burley, 68. Pocatello, 65. Challis tied the record of 58 degrees. And more record highs were being set also on Wednesday across Oregon. Medford, 72. Klamath Falls, 67 there. Hillsboro, about 63. So very warm out across the northwest. And today, well, a little bit cooler with the clouds and showers back in towns like Eugene. Welcome back here to Weather Nation and happy Thanksgiving. Hope you're having a great day. I'm meteorologist Matt Monroe with your Northwestern forecast. And yeah, definitely lots of clouds and showers falling today out across the University of Oregon to the tune of almost an inch of rain over the past 24 hours. You can see more rainfall in Salem, Portland, about a half an inch out across Seattle, and then not quite as much as you work off to the east. Just scattered showers really for the most part out across northern Idaho and also western Montana. But we have more waves of moisture working on in. Temperatures warmer this week than last week. So we're talking most of it comes as rain versus snow. So let's dig in here. This is later on tonight, 9 o'clock. There's a front tracking on through. So you'll see the rain kind of diminish into the overnight hours. Overnight tonight, early tomorrow morning with just a touch of snow. Higher elevations out across Idaho and western Montana. This is 6 o'clock early tomorrow morning. Maybe a touch of rainfall. Portland, Salem, up through Seattle, and a touch of snow out around Mount Baker. Overnight low temps tonight. 30 in Salmon, 40 Lewiston, 36 degrees in Yakima, and then pretty much mid to upper 40s in between Seattle and Salem. Eugene, just a touch cooler at about 42 for you. Forecast continues early tomorrow morning. Friday, again, the cloud cover is here, so for the big shopping day, it's not a washout, but not a beautiful day either. But inland out across Oregon, more sunshine there and also more sunshine out across Idaho. This is Friday afternoon, early evening, about 6 p.m. And Portland, fairly dry. Some cloud cover up through Seattle. And again, maybe a little snow. Higher elevations of the Cascades. It's not going to amount to a whole lot. Forecast continues. And watch the warm front tracking in early Saturday morning from the south to the north. So we're going to start to cloud things over out across Oregon. But there's not a whole lot of rainfall at this particular point from that system. Friday high temperatures, 45 Salmon, 49 degrees Baker City. We have low to mid 50s, Seattle down through Eugene, 48 degrees in Burns and Bend. And then Saturday morning early, 44 Seattle, 42 degrees in Eugene, Baker City about 30 there, and beautiful Boise about 36. Okay, watch the warm front. This is, again, we'll start the loop off 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Dry across Oregon with some clouds, but as the front works up to the north, we're going to start to see some rain backfill in through Seattle and points northward. That's Saturday night by 8 o'clock. And then another front brings another batch of rainfall right across the coastline between Seattle and Eugene. This is through early Sunday morning at 7 o'clock. And some of that moisture starts working in eastward across Idaho and western Montana. And then there's another little trough of low pressure back behind that. That drags in more moisture. This is now overnight Sunday night into early Monday morning. So you get the idea. It's just wave after wave.